Welcome to another race from the Aussie Mixed and Fixed GT3 Dev Series. This week we're at Road Atlanta in the States. We're in qualifying at the moment. We've got about another 9 minutes left, or 8 minutes 30 should I say. Everyone's doing all right. It's not too bad, and surprise, surprise, Andrew Welter up front again. It's pretty close times at between top three. Even in practice, these guys were going at it the same. Top three. Joining me in the commentary box again is Bruce. How you going, Bruce?
Yeah, good. Steve, how's yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Hopefully we've got these microphone problems sorted on my end tonight, and hopefully we have a really good race. The pit box is here. From memory, it's 50-odd pit boxes, 55, and I think we're going to have a full field tonight. How do you think that's going to go?
I think we're going to bid on tonight, so that should be very interesting to see how that's all going to play out. A lot of cars on the track, so yeah, it should be an interesting race.
Yeah, cool. So here we are now. Well, the top results are on the screen. We've got Andrew Welter up front and Chris Robson in second. Dave Robertson third at the moment, but there's nothing much in it. If you look down the whole entire field, I think the top 20 is, 118 is still is 20th place, so it's going to be tight. And definitely, even over on the other qualifying server, the guys are doing similar times. So I definitely think it's going to be the great top 10 start tonight, especially with the guys that are pulling the times and the quality of these drivers. It's definitely going to be a good race. 40-minute race with a 55 car field or 50 abouts. Definitely going to be some action tonight, so it's going to keep us on our toes, and we'll try and bring all the coverage that we can. We have a few newcomers. There has been new sign-ups this week. I think there was about 10 or 11 new sign-ups this week, so that's really good for the series. Some of the other boys have raced today and other things, and some of them are not coming in this race. But to have 55 on a Sunday night, this is awesome. It's a really good turnout, and it's really good for the series.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. We do get a good turnout from time to time, and where this will be the first race where we've got two... Yeah, sorry, Steve. I'll let you take over for a sec. It's just echoing on my end.
Yeah, no worries, mate. All right, as we're here, we're having little microphone things. We're trying to fix it and make everything look sound perfect. So bear with us, but hopefully it's going to be a flawless night and everything's going to work well. Yeah, mate. Spot on. I think these boys are just trying to run down some fuel, and as the usual tactic, and do a lot of laps and run down some fuel and try and put a faster time in the end here. But I don't think many of them are going to move too much. As you can see, that even between 4th and 5th, the time between them guys is absolutely insane. Not to mention they're in front and behind each other on track. Be interesting to see if they're actually in the same team to try and give someone the draft and give them a little bit of boost here. Okay, so Road Atlanta, it's the full course. I'll give you a little bit of background knowledge about it. This particular one is 4Ks turn. It's got 12 turns in it. The track opened up back in 1970 was the first race. You would know the track if you saw the video clip on YouTube of I think it was a Porsche 911 GT1 car back in the 90s doing a backflip and landing on the guardrail. YouTube that later when you're not watching the broadcast, but that's a pretty funny video. Holds a lot of races, Formula 5000, IMSA, Trans Am, NASCAR did a few races here as well. Not to mention a funny series, what's it called? The Lemons. I'll think of it and I'll tell you later. But it's a funny series between America, New Zealand, Australia that they hold at this racetrack in real life. The iRacing world record around this track is done by an Audi. 1:15.794 was the fastest lap by someone in the UK. Should really give him a shout out and tell him he's doing good on his name, but no, he's from the UK now. I don't see much in this qualifying leaderboard. I don't think much is going to change at the moment. These boys are just pacing around, following each other. The 4th and 5th are still trying to go at it here because it's so close between their times. As one of them spins out.
I'll give that a try now. Nah, it seems to be still echoing.
Just getting word from race control in the other server. 1:17.671 is the fastest another split set by Craig Edwards. That puts him in P2, given the times in this server, with Andrew Welter still up front, racing for Pulse Racing Team. Definitely going to be a challenging race for these guys tonight with 55 cars on the field.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to play out for me tonight. My audio is absolutely shocking.
It's just that new echo thing you've got there. It's like that one of them little kiddie microphones we're yelling into. That's what it's echoing like, but there's no biggie there, Bruce. You're the man with the controls, and we won't pull you from that too much. So we have a little guest coming up during the race as well. So yeah, that's all right. We can kind of keep the viewers entertained. Just looking at the YouTube chat here, Matt Morris with a 1:17.667. That must have been before the 1:17.636 from Craig Edwards. Oh. As Javin Wood just rolls it like 15 times down the back straight there. Hope he doesn't do that in the race. But I shouldn't say that, commentator's curse. He's a good driver, he knows what he's doing. So that looks where it's going to lie at the moment. Andrew Walter on top with a 6:12. See what the other server brings and see if Craig Edwards put a little bit more time on his quality there. And YouTube chat, hey Sam, aren't you meant to be in a car right now? Oh, well, while we wait for the servers to come live, the race server, we will go to a few iRacing videos.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air. Oh, 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 So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
Hey, what's up guys? Scott Speed here at the iRacing headquarters. Some exciting news about the upcoming Rallycross World Championship. They've got a wild card entry, and yours truly is going to get that spot. See you guys out on the track.
So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
Yeah, welcome back, Steve. Hopefully I've now sorted my microphone issues out, and we can get on with the broadcast for tonight. Yeah, my audio decided to put 2 streams through, one for the iRacing and then one for the Discord, both at the same time, which caused the echo. Just trying to fix it without stopping the stream was the biggest issue, otherwise I would have just reset. Anyway, I believe we've got about 61 cars on the grid tonight, so we've definitely got a big field for tonight. Once again, we stress every single time, every single race, that if these guys keep a clear head for the first lap or so, we can get away without having the safety car. Last week we saw 2 within the first couple of laps. Let's try to avoid it tonight. I just had another little issue, Steve. I've just been told that we couldn't hear you that time, so if you want to give us another test, we'll try it again.
Oh, I'm back. I'm here.
Yeah, no, all good now. I think I've got you now, mate.
Awesome. All right, back at it. Hopefully that's the issues all solved and sorted for the remainder of the race, and yeah, as I was saying just before, and hopefully everything goes well with these guys. 61 cars is shared, and they all have their racing gloves on and want to keep it clean and get around this track nice and safe. As I said before, that 1 minute 20 you can get around here. 61 cars, there's going to be a lot of back markers and stuff like that. These boys are experienced. I don't think there's that many in here that don't know how to handle that situation, like with overtaking cars and stuff. But we'll see how it pans out, and hopefully the yellow flags don't come out, and we get a clean race here.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Steve. Like 61 cars, probably the biggest field we've had in the start of the season. So everyone's just got to keep a cool head, and we'll get the race underway and make sure everyone can get it to the end. So looking forward to a good race. The first couple of races have been really good tight battles between the field. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, there has been, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome race, and definitely the first lap is going to be one to watch. It's going to be very difficult for not only us to cover it, but as drivers as well to watch what's going on and what's going on around them. Well, that's the warm-up session. As they're gridding, because the 61 cars, we're only going to go through the top 10, okay? Andrew Welter up front with Craig Edwards following in second. Matt Morrison third with Sean Thompson in fourth. Steve Lattimore, fifth place. Chris Robertson in sixth. Tyler Blackburn in seventh. Trent Thomas in eighth. Heath Brennan in ninth. Chris Whittaker in 10th. And I'll do 12 as well. So Dave R. Roberts in 11th. And Sam Katakazinas in 12th. It will be a bit hard to run through 61 cars tonight, so Bruce will flick through so everyone's name is there and you see where they're all starting position. as we're just waiting for everyone to grid up. And obviously 62 car there, Ryan is race control and the safety car driver. Hopefully he sits in his box tonight and just does race control, and hopefully doesn't come back out tonight. Here they are as they go out for their formation lap. Hopefully no one gets no nose to tail stuff happening. See that a lot in IMSA, so these guys here shouldn't be doing that.
Looking forward to this one tonight, Steve. It's good to finally have all the iRacing members on the GT3 development series all into one top split, so it'd be good to broadcast this, and really looking forward to it.
It is. Obviously the last two races we've had that many people. We couldn't fit them in one. And obviously the endurance, we had a fair few cars, but I think this one is the one to watch out for. They drove excellent in round one or week one. Week two, obviously just a bad start, but as the race progressed and then the mid-pack battles that we're focused on and up the front, Craig Edwards checking out and stuff like that, it just got to get interesting just as it was coming up to, time to call it a day. But hopefully this one, straight off the bat, is just nice and clean and everyone gets into their rhythm really early. I know I watched a lot of the boys in practice. They were doing a lot of laps and getting used to the car, the set, the track, and stuff like that. So hopefully that it goes without a hitch tonight. No safety cars, no yellow flags and no dramas. But yeah, definitely it's going to be a good race to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see Craig Edwards back up there again in this race. We missed him. I think he was away last week, so we didn't have our complimentary field there. But having some very fast drivers up the front is going to make the competition very, very stiff and hard.
Oh, definitely, and that's the thing. As we were mentioning in qualifying, the times between them are so close. It's not funny, the first top 20 were only in, 2 seconds apart. So, you put that into a qualifying lap and then you go into a race, we'll see what happens. Just as the green flag drops and we're off. Oh, there's a turnaround already.
I believe it was just a self-spinner. Everyone got through. There was no other incidents from it, so that's good to see. Good driving by everyone to avoid that.
Yeah, I was just trying to see who that was. Just on the... Came up, Javin Wood had an off-track and so did Christopher Simpson.
Also already see a bit of a break coming from the first couple of guys, just stretching their legs out a little bit, just getting a bit of clear airway, settle into a rhythm, and they'll push on.
Oh, as they'll go 3 wide down at 10A. Oh, that would have been a touchy moment for them, but they did really well. They all came out the other side. Yeah, Andrew Walters just pulling a little bit on Craig Edwards. If he keeps that kind of pace and he keeps away from them. Oh, just as Matt Morris goes through on Craig Edwards. Around turn 5 there.
looks like the boys are going to get on it straight away from the early get-go. So great move by Matt Morris. He obviously made that cleanly around Craig Edwards and slipped his car up into second position.
Definitely did well there, but he's not gonna look at it easy. Craig Edwards, he's letting him know he's there. But that's a good thing for Andrew Welter though. He can give that little bit of take a little breath and get into a rhythm, and hopefully he pulls away a little bit more. And we'll see if he sits on these qualifying times that he was doing. Obviously he's comfortable in the car, so yeah, we'll definitely see him check out a bit and go a little bit further.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Craig Edwards. Like I don't think he would have been expecting that pass by Matt Morris there, but it's interesting to see that he's not hanging to the back of Andrew Welter at the moment. So I don't know if he's just not comfortable at the early stage of the race, just waiting for some tyre temps to come up, give him that little bit more grip, and so he's got the speed to push on a bit harder.
Yeah, definitely. I think he'd want to get that move early done on Craig. But I think they're just going to sit in the rhythm at the moment and see what comes of it. Knowing these guys, they know that they can push hard and they can choose when they want to attack and when not to. So we'll definitely see what happens here. I think these guys, that what we've seen from the past and the other couple of races, that they'll sit in that rhythm and just do lap after lap and try not to make no mistakes, not to bring them in any closer. Andrew will be focusing ahead of him, not behind, but Matt Morris is actually getting on him. And Craig Edwards just dropping off a few seconds there.
Yeah, and that mid-pack area is very, very tight as well. But once again, it's all nose to tail stuff, but it's clean racing, it's good racing. Everyone's just settling into their rhythm. Get the tyres up to temp, get them up to pressure. So they've got the grip, they've got the ability to get on with it. So we see a couple of moves starting to happen.
Yeah, there's definitely a few guys, just looking through the pack there, that are getting a bit edgy behind some. Obviously, they're looking at they're holding them up in this early stage, and there's a little bit impatient moves. But you do see a few, like the battle pack that's going on at the moment. Luke Page through the other 4 cars behind him. You know, they're taking their time, but they're going to wait for that right move. As speaking, they do. You wait for that little slip up, and they're gonna take that spot off you. But hopefully, no one puts up too much of a fight, and they focus on their driving line and give them enough room and space tonight. And we don't bring this yellow flag and the safety car up.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Steve. It's been clean so far, and yeah, credit to all these guys. With having 61 cars on the track, I honestly believed we were going to see a safety car, but great driving by everyone. This battle seems to be a bit intense as well. It's going side by side down through there.
Oh, definitely. Look, as we said before, but holding their lines and then definitely giving space. But there's something going on in this mid pack here.
Yeah, this is an interesting one to watch. But one like we've said, and everyone's been very, very cautious on their drive and leaving racing room to each other. See 2 cars go side by side and then another 2 cars behind them to go through areas like that is impressive driving by all involved. Let's get back in the pack a little bit further, and we've still got cars nose to tail. There's some very close battles starting to form through this whole race, and we'd expect that at the start of the race as well. So everyone's just going to settle in and get the laps down and get the fuel done and wait for the pit stop. Matt Morris has pulled right onto the back of Andrew Welter now. They're within 2/10 of each other and just catching a back marker on the back of the track. So hopefully this doesn't cause too much issue for these 2 guys and they can race on cleanly. Well done. Sidestepped out of the road, gave clear room to Andrew Welter and Matt Morris to let them continue with the battle. Matt Morris has just made the pass on Andrew Welter for first position, so he's certainly on a charge, pushing on, and yeah, let's hope he keep it on track and keep it in the position. Andrew's just sort of backed the pace off a little bit, so this is going to be a very, very interesting race. I think we've got some very hard hitters up the front end, and I think this one's going to go right to the end of the race. Just lost Steve in the commentary box for a minute, so we'll see if we can find what has happened and see if we can get him back online. So in that, Craig Edwards has also just made a pass past Andrew Welter as well, so he's now taking his Audi into second position.
Yeah, it definitely looks like we're having some audio issues tonight. I think it's just a curse.
Oh, I've got you back now, Steve.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's going on. As we said before, the computer's having little technical issues that we need to try and solve while we're trying to focus on a race. So sorry about that, and we're back now. So let's go to the end here.
Yeah, well, Craig Edwards has pushed on. He's got past Andrew Welter as well in a bit of clear air now as well. So we'll see if Craig can pull out. All saying that, oh, that was very close by Andrew Welter. Great driving by both of them. They went each side of the spun car in front and managed to miss him all.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're actually going to say before, that with the cars on the track and the back markers and stuff, that's where, just as Craig Edwards goes a little bit wide on 5, that's going to give Andrew Welter the pass through there. Just see if Chris Robertson is just going to move out the way for these guys to have the battle in front of them.
Well, Chris is still in this battle as well, so he's now sitting up into second position. Craig's now in third and Andrew's in fourth. Matt Morris has cleared out with a bit of a, what's he got, a 3/10 of nearly 4/10 of a gap on the whole field. So Matt Morris is certainly pushing on with some really, really good times.
Well, that's definitely a plus for him that these three are going to have that battle. You know, Andrew Welter and Craig Edwards having that battle behind. Chris Robinson's going to have a little gap with that. As we all know in racing, that, you know, as soon as they get into a battle, you got an advantage from that, and you got to push on and push as hard as you can. As you said, of Matt Morris, like, look, he's already up the road already. So obviously Chris Robinson's going to be focusing on that now rather than looking behind where Craig Edwards is having that battle with Andrew.
Yeah, it's actually good to see a four-way battle up the front. There's usually get two people to break off and sort of sit up there and battle them for first and second, and the rest of the guys are just hanging back. But this is effectively a four-way battle for the lead. Saying that, Matt Morris has got that 4/10 second lead, but that can quickly diminish with one little error here or there. So I wouldn't rule any of these three guys out pushing for that first place towards the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely not. And 45-minute race with a mandatory pit stop, that comes into it as well. You know, a little bit too far in a pit bay, you know, a little bit too long of a stop, that makes a difference. And these guys, the close proximity racing, you know, no error can be made in the next 33 minutes.
That's exactly right. Matt's also getting onto the back of the tail enders of some other cars and stuff like that. So I mean, that all comes into contributing to things that could possibly go wrong. I mean, Matt's a smart racer. He's been around a long time, so he'll know how to handle it as long as the guys in front know how to safely get out of his road. Start to see little battle packs starting to form again as well, back in the mid-pack, so everyone's going to be carefully trying to negotiate everyone and not cause any issues.
Just hearing from race control there, that's car 183, sorry, just got a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, apparently that was on a lap 6 incident with a poor re-entry onto the track, so obviously caused an issue for another driver and has copped a penalty for it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Just as we see it, there's someone tapping the wall down the main straight there, so that would have made the drivers behind him a little bit weary. These boys are doing it again. They're racing absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
just as Mitchell Chapman just has a little bit of a turn 3 issue there, gets on the grass but puts it back on the track, but no dramas at all, doesn't slow anyone up or doesn't put anyone in danger. That's Shane Logan just putting on the moves to Hayden there.
They're very thick in the mid pack. Once again, everyone's given racing room, so let's hope they can all negotiate this and get through with no issues.
Yeah, definitely. Watching that.
And there's the commentator's cursor we keep talking about, Steve.
Yeah, that's it. I was just about to say about that 33, 34, 35, 36 battle there. They were doing so well. I was watching for that half a lap there. Unfortunate for them, that was the commentator's curse there, but
that one's on your
we'll see what happens. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking it. You said it, so we'll go with both of us on that one.
That's all right. We'll both take that one.
Just watching up the front again, that Chris Robertson and P2, Craig Edwards 3, and Andrew Walton making the move on Craig Edwards down the main straight there. These boys are bunching up by the end of the lap, and then they're getting obviously their gains again at the start of the lap. So if you actually watch the end of the lap, this lap, we'll actually see them all bunch up again, and that was from no cause. That was just how they were driving. So let's see what happens when they're actually going through the field again, because they're actually catching some back markers again, and we'll see how they turn out at the end of this lap. Just as Craig Edwards makes a move. Can he make it stick? No, Robertson's on the inside line. Andrew Welter's letting him know he's there just in case anything comes out of it. Craig Edwards going for the move on Robertson, but they're catching up to Pat Gallo there, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of corners.
Yeah, Matt
Can he get it done though?
Yeah, Matt's also negotiating the traffic absolutely brilliantly. He's not being held up at all, which is good to see by the back markers.
Oh, Pat Gallo just moving out the way for the boys to get through there.
That's good to see. That's good sportsmanship. You know you don't want to cause any issues for that lead pack. So.
Oh, definitely not at all. Especially when they're bunched up like this. Craig Edwards up the front of it now, and Chris Robertson behind. All these guys are going to ready to pounce. So even one back marker makes a slight mess up on his race line and slows down one of these boys. Craig Edwards could go from that position to the last and let the two boys through.
Matt Morris has got a really good lead now, so he's dominating this race, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got a 3.7 second lead on Craig Edwards.
Yeah, between Craig, Chris and Andrew, the battling is actually costing them time to catch the back of Matt Morris. So even though they are hard in battle, you sort of lose track with the leader as he's in clear air. So they need to sort it out and start just focusing on trying to catch Matt Morris.
Here they are for another lap. As it is, it's really short laps, lap times. As I said before, 61 cars on a small track like this. Yeah, you're definitely going to get them back markers. And watching the different battles that are going on in different parts of the track, it's very, very hard to see who's actually racing for what spot. We already have 4 people in the pits that have been there for a considerable amount of time. So that was John Schultz, David Sanford, Sean Thompson, Desmond Hinckley. And we have Shane Logan that's in the pits, and he's been in there for 2 minutes as of right now. Just coming through as well, 16th spot, Chris Moretta for CMR, Team CMR. He's already had his pit stop at 15.9 seconds. Javin Wood, he's in the pit as well.
I believe we've got a guest commentator coming in the next couple of minutes, Steve, so we'll welcome him when he gets in the room.
Welcome, Dean. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. A little bit busy at the start there, but settling down now. How are you guys going over here?
Oh, a few technical dramas, but we're on them out as we're going. So you're not racing tonight, mate?
No, it's one of my favourite tracks, and Ryan needed a hand, so thought I'd give him a hand. Here we are.
Awesome. So, from a fast driver yourself in the series, tell us about the series and what you think of it.
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, every Sunday night I'm here. Yeah, it's development series, but there's some guys at the front that are pretty quick. Okay, but there's guys out there that are much quicker. So yeah, still got a lot to learn myself. But we cater for everyone, from rookies through to guys that are pretty much pros. So it's good fun.
Yeah, we definitely see your name up the front there a fair bit. So how long have you been in the series for, Dean?
Well, I did race control the first season, and then second season I was a amateur. Forget the amateur title by default because the guy that was leading the title had a disconnect in the final round, unfortunately. Andrew Gaines for Fusion. And then last season, I think I was runner-up to Craig Edwards, another Fusion driver. But yeah, this is the third season that I've run. So.
Well, that's definitely a feat, coming just second behind Craig Edwards. It tells you how good of a driver you are.
Oh yeah, cheers. Oh yeah. I just put the practice in. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's all I can say. Didn't put the practice in, I wouldn't be anywhere near as quick as I am. So yeah, that's all it is. I think.
Definitely. Everyone knows your name anyway, so they do see it in the qualifying list, and they do see it in the races and stuff like that. So no, that's awesome.
Yeah, cheers. As I said, a couple of years ago, to be anywhere near Craig Edwards, I would have been dreaming. I remember racing him in skips and stuff, and he was just light years ahead. So to be, thereabouts, still got a bit of work to do though, I must admit. I'd like to be a little bit quicker and winning rather than second.
Yeah, that's it. But that's a good thing as well, that people in this series or this league can definitely come in as rookies and learn from you guys as well. Is that correct? Like, you're in the practice sessions, and I've noticed a lot of people going in there as rookies and asking you guys questions, and you're more than happy to help them out.
Oh, 100%. That's right. I was there when Ryan put the idea out as a development series, and I was all for it. Guys have just got to ask. There's a couple of guys tonight that were really struggling in qualifying, but by the time it gets qualifying, it's too late. You need to rock up with those practice sessions earlier in the week and ask the questions. I know I'm more than happy to take the time. I'll sit out a practice session and guide someone if that's what they want. Guide them corner by corner. as I said, I'm not the fastest, but I'm willing to tell you everything I know, just to sort of get you up to speed. Because, you know, the more guys at the front, the better the competition. You know, the more fun it is.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a good thing as well for the series, that, you know, you are prepared to do that. And as we said before, you're no slouch of a driver. You are fast. I think you've just been a bit modest here, but no, you are a really good and fast driver.
Yeah, cheers. As you probably saw last week, didn't go to plan though, so you're only as good as your last race. But yeah, no, I'll take the compliment.
That's
yeah.
Well, right, last week was a little bit of a yeah, it was a bit of a weird race, but it did settle down by the end. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you know, different strategies, different you know, different weather compared to what we used to. You know, the last couple of seasons has always been pretty favourable weather conditions, whereas last week was quite warm, and the tyres didn't really last like they did the last couple of seasons. So I caught a few people unawares. I mixed up the strategy because I was already behind and took tyres. So I was behind some of the front runners and just really basically screwed up the strategy. I shouldn't have been stuck behind them if I had been paying attention. But anyway, is what it is, and I apologise to anyone that may have affected their race. But I think the guys that I was behind ended up in the same third and fourth as they were anyway. So
yeah, I think Tom was in the same boat with the tyre issue last week. But touching on this race, you are temporarily in the race control box tonight, filling in with the boys. How are you finding it in there with the 61 cars? Yeah, it's biggest field I've ever been in the race control booth with. I think iRacing's struggling a little bit, to be honest with you. It's very glitchy. I don't know how it looks on the broadcast, but yeah, it was a bit touch and go with some of the incidents in the early laps. You know, people are calling for us to check incidents, and you go and it just, you know, you get a blank screen for 10 seconds right when there's contact made. It's like, oh, you need someone else to check it out, you know. So luckily there's three of us in the booth, and I think we've caught just about every incident one of us has. But yeah, it's the big fields. Moving forward, I don't think we'll have such big fields, but we'll see what comes of it. I think it is. It's keeping everyone on their toes with 61 cars. There's so much going on. We're trying to cover and touch base on it all, but there's just, before you can even get to one thing, something else has already happened, you know?
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I'm just sitting here looking at the track map, you know, the live track map on one of the monitors, and there's no gap of more than 50 metres around the track. So wherever you are, there's someone. So it's busy. We think we've got it busy, but I dare say it's even busier behind the wheel at the moment.
Just on that note, we see Matt Morris come into pit lane to complete his pit stop, so we'll see where he comes out. We've actually got the first 4 guys that are coming into pit lane to proceed and do their stops.
Interesting. Yeah, I dare say they'd run it dry. All coming in on the same lap is, yeah, the tanks are empty.
Let's see what the strategy is like when they all pull out.
Well, that's it. We've got Heath that's actually stayed out there. He come up from the mid-pack sort of thing, so that tank will be pretty damn dry by the end of this lap.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Morris has come in the lead. Just got to try and find where Heath is on track and... According to my JRT, the first of the pitters is James Wilson, the first car to have pitted. Not sure if that was early on in the race before the pit window. Heath's in this lap.
See how the time goes with Heath's stop compared to the other boys.
And James Wilson is in this lap as well.
Yeah, there's only a few. There's not that many that haven't pitted yet. So definitely it's going to be interesting when Heath comes back out.
Yeah, well, Matt's just gone past. I think Matthew, Andrew, and Craig have just gone past as well. So he's definitely cleared. They've all cleared Heath Brennan. So.
Busy as Heath coming out of the pits there.
Someone just hit the wall as the leaders were going past as well.
Yep, that was Andrew Gibson. But look at that.
Not sure if he just dove to the side just to make clearance for the leaders, or he just just got a bit intimidated by it and sort of made a judgment error.
Just as Christopher Simpson just walks out the way there and lets these boys through, and I'm pretty sure that it was Chris Simpson that was his second race. I'll have to double check on that, but I think it's his only second race in the AMF Dev Series here.
Maybe just a bit of inexperience.
Well, the only two that's in there is Dave Roberts and needs to pit.
This battle is certainly continuing up the front, so there's no gap between the first three cars, and coming up on the back of some more lap cars as well, so it's certainly going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, we have, Craig Edwards is a P4 going past and overtaking someone that's in 46th. And then you go back a couple of cars again and you've got someone that's in 20-something position as well. So it's trying to keep up with where everyone is at the moment. It's a bit of a handful, but...
It's when pit stops are all different, it sort of all alters and everyone sort of get mixed up with everyone. So yeah, trying to keep on top of where everyone is very, very hard.
Yeah, well, that's good for the drivers in the black box, though. You can tell who's in front of you, and that's where you're heading for. But definitely, they've done all right. No back markers have created or caused any major dramas.
It's going to go back a bit and just sort of Chris Robinson has sort of dropped off the first three guys or first four guys effectively a bit. So I don't know if he had a little issue, whether it be in the pit stop, but he's got a bit of ground to make up to get back up to him.
Oh, big smash!
Oh, that was with Matt Morris too, I believe.
Yeah, that was Luke Muir that was off the track there. He was actually keeping out the way a little bit when they were coming up the back straight there, but unlucky. Another racing horse driver there.
And Craig Edwards had to take a little trip across the grass as well back there, so it's all starting to unfold for them. It's a pretty full-on race so far. See Craig Robinson starting to get on with that charge through there as well. So
yeah, I'm just watching this close battle up front, just between Matt and Andrew.
Certainly nothing between them. I hope nothing has an outcome from that little incident with Matt Morris. So I'll have to wait for race control to adjudicate on that one.
Yeah, they're just catching up to the another car as well. I'm just trying to find out who that is, to be honest. That's Chris Whittaker and P34. We'll see how that goes. These boys have been going around cars all night, and the quality of the field, that they are moving over and letting them through. So hopefully this is the same, and these boys keep battling on, and we see some good racing between these two. But as we say, we're in the 36th minute of the race, or 37th minute. You're in that second position. You're going to move. You're going to take them risks and make them moves. And Andrew is no slouch of a driver. He definitely can make some moves. So yeah, let's definitely see what this brings. But that just shows how clean the driving has been. You know, the top 4 is what qualified, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know, they've just been changing positions here and there.
I just got a quick word from race control, Steve, and just to clear up anyone's minds about that little incident with Matt Morris, and I think it was Jesse coming down off the hill. They believe it to be a non-event effectively. There was quite a bit of jumping around a bit, and whether it just was a net code issue or as such, but there'll be no penalties issued from it.
It's a shame for my teammate. It's probably the right decision, though. I reckon you don't want to race decided in that way. Yeah,
definitely. That's going back to V8 Supercars Newcastle round, wasn't it? That was decided by penalties, and we know the controversy that came out of that one.
Yeah, look, Matt's done a good job so far. He has been clean going past the other drivers. So, look, an incident like that is unfortunate, but like race control have come back and said that it was just a racing incident effectively. Could have been something to do with the server ping or anything like that, but they deemed it a non-event. So.
Yeah, definitely. They are close and they are racing well. Like their last lap, before the last lap, I just looked at it. It was a 1:17.566 to a 5:69. So that's how close they are.
We just had to get Dean to step out and go back into race control as they want something to adjudicate or make a decision. So hopefully we'll get him back in before the end of the race and have a bit more of a chat with him.
And they trade positions one more time.
Yeah, Andrew's just snuck it past Matt Morris, so we'll see if that is the way that this is going to play out, or is it going to is the battle going to continue? So now we've got a Ferrari turned around in front of him as well. I don't know who that one was.
That was Chris Whittaker just taking a little cut across the grass there and redresses, not too bad. He's not going to cause any dramas there.
Well, 8 minutes left in this race, and it's certainly not done for the first, second, third, or even fourth, to be truthfully honest. I mean, this battle is going to continue right to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I'm just checking up with going through the field here to see where they all line, but there's so much traffic in between these guys that's probably playing the more part of any strategy at the moment. Who's going to get it caught up where, and who's going to slow down where because of back markers. It definitely would have been a more interesting one if this was an 80-minute race. Or the 90-minute races, the endurance races, because of the amount of people on this track, there could have been at least 3 or 4 laps between first and last.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's these shorter sprint races, everyone just goes out hard and everyone's just got to race smart. But yeah, if you put an 80-minute race around a track that's just over a minute, then yeah, the lap difference is quite substantial. You notice it, and the guys out front, not only have they got to do consistent laps and try to keep it clean, but they've got to be aware of the back markers as well. So you're not only racing for watching people behind you, but you're also watching people in front of you.
Yeah, that's right. Especially when we just see it there as well, of Andrew and Matt just going around Hayden there, and Hayden going a little bit wide on the grass. You know, fast guys coming up on the back of people like that, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Hayden's driving, but you do tend to see that a lot. People looking in the rear view mirror rather than going forward. You definitely see that in a lot of races. Just as Matt and Andrew go at it again, coming out that corner, but Matt's car doesn't look too stable coming out of there. The back of the car gets a little bit loose, and I think Andrew knows that, and I think that's why he was going for the same position again to get through.
Yeah, I think this is a classic Tom and Jerry sort of situation where it's just a bit of cat and mouse, and they'll just keep playing with each other for another 5 minutes, and that last lap is where it's going to come down to who's going to be in the front to take it home with the checkered flag.
Well, that's the thing as well, but you've got Craig Edwards that's closing in. He's doing faster lap times every lap because these guys are going at it. So is there enough time in the clock that Craig Edwards is going to get it back of this lead pack?
Yeah, and that's exactly the same sort of situation we were saying earlier on when Matt Morris got that gap out on the second, third and fourth with Craig and Andrew, and when Chris was battling. When you battle, it costs you time. So the guys that are trying to chase them down can make a difference to catch up onto them because they're not battling. So they can pick their apexes, they can get into the corners quickly, get on the throttle quickly. So they're not having to worry about braking points or anything like that. So yeah, it's exactly the same sort of situation as the start of the race when Matt did break away.
Oh, just as we see P4, Chris Robertson going off the side of 10A. Lost a couple of spots out of that one. Well, that's P1 all the way down to position 5, 6, and 7 that don't have any back markers in front of them now. But Matt Morris is coming up to the back of Gary Fishwick and the Team CMR car that's in 29th.
By the looks like they're going to catch up on quite a few cars, so let's hope they don't cause any issues with them, Steve.
Well, that's definitely right. You've got the guys on the lead laps. You've got Andrew and all that doing 117s, and then around where they are coming through the field, these guys are doing 121s, 122s. So there's a massive difference in gap of lap time. 3 seconds is massive.
This is the part of the race where it either becomes heartache or heartbreak, because 3 minutes remaining, coming up on the back of tail enders, a little dart here, a little dart there could cost you the race. So you're very wary of this, and Matt and Andrew are both sort of, they've got to, like I said, they've got to watch the rear vision mirrors, but they've also got to watch what's happening in front. So it's always about cautious and try to get it home.
Yeah, definitely. Even in the last couple of minutes here, the close proximity between Andrew and Matt, that's going to put the pressure on there. So as we've been saying, that the back marker's there. Matt's got his hands full. He's looking back and looking forward. And as I said, the last lap, the tail end of that car is not looking too happy. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully Craig Edwards can get up there as well. He's only 2.8 seconds behind. So yeah, it's not over yet.
Yeah, that gap between Craig Edwards and the back of Andrew Waddle was over 3.5 seconds the previous lap, and here we go, Andrew's coming down for the move.
See if he's going to remember how slidey, how slippery Matt's car is coming out of here. He did it really well that time. Oh, he's going for the block as well. Just as Andrew touches the wheels on the grass there.
Yeah, you can see Matt Morris covering that racing line.
Oh, he definitely wants it. His heart rate will be through the roof right now.
Oh, I agree 100%, mate. I don't know about you, but I get nervous as hell when you're under this sort of pressure coming towards the end of a race. So I guarantee you that all these three guys up the front will have that sort of nervous feel to finish off this race. So
yeah, definitely with that mandatory pit stop, none of them took tyres. It would have just been fuel only, so the tyres wouldn't be feeling too happy. And that's it. Who's saved their tyres a little bit more? You know, who's taken them race lines that save them tyres a little bit more between these two guys? So it's very interesting to watch.
I do apologise for not darting around the field as much throughout this race broadcast, but this battle has been intense, and it's going to take us right to the checkered flag. So we'll stay with it if everyone's happy to, and we'll see how this pans out.
Yeah, it's definitely, there is a few battles going on. I'm watching the timing screen, and I'm watching the movement of the track here. There is a few battles going on around the track, but to try and keep coverage of everything in a 45-minute lap with 61 cars, it's definitely a hard work. And not only that, Bruce, you've been in the comm box as well, trying to sort out technical issues with me, so you've definitely had your hands full, mate.
Yeah, this race has been a bit of a handful. I do apologise for the technical issues we had at the start of the race, but we got them all ironed out, and we can finish this race off strong, and we'll hopefully have a really, really good ending.
Yeah, definitely. Looking back in the back of the field here, there's a few cars that just don't look too happy. So obviously there's been a little bit of dramas. Obviously talking to the drivers later on, we'll find out what actually happened.
Oh, I saw just Craig Edwards coming around that last corner, then just slid it sideways, and it's cost him a hell of a lot of time. Not that he was going to make the 2.8 seconds up, but yeah, I think he's done and dusted for third position on this.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, that gap's way too big now.
See Andrew just setting up for trying to make a move, but he's going to be running out of corners. That was a great race by Matt Morris and Andrew Welter.
Definitely, them two will be taking a sigh of relief at the moment there, but Matt holding them out there. Good to see. Yeah, his driving was excellent there, and unfortunate for Craig. Just losing a little bit of time on that mishap he had back then.
Yeah, look, it was unfortunate. Craig is a bit bizarre, to be truthfully honest. I don't know if I'll have to double check with race control to see if the 10 kg penalty is still applied to the Audi, if that has actually altered the balance a little bit, because Craig was a little bit off the pace tonight, which is highly unusual for him. So we'll get that confirmed and come back to you. Also saw Chris Robinson start to struggle towards the end of the race as well, so I don't know if he burned his tyres up in that first section of the race where he was battling in that second, third, fourth position. That's cost him the time towards the end of the race, but he was just plodding along and just happy to get it home, I believe, in fifth. So
yeah, the boys did an excellent job tonight. I think race control would have had their hands full there as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Heath Brennan come from either. What do you know what position he started in at all?
Oh, I can have a look at the start. Hold on. 9th spot.
So he's done exceptionally well to get it from 9th to finish in 4th and bring it home with no carnage on the car. So he's done an exceptional job as well.
Yeah, definitely Alistair Whelan from 43rd to 22nd. You've got Oliver Fullerton from 48th to 20th. You've got Chris Moretta, Team CMR, 35 to 15th, up 20 spot.
So we've got some big jumpers throughout the field, which is really, really good to see.
Oh, definitely, and I think the worst back would be Steve Lattimore from 5th to 26th. No, I'll correct that one. Sean Thompson, 4th to 57th, not finishing.
He must have had an issue earlier on, whether he got tangled up or brought himself unstuck, but yeah, unfortunate for him.
No, it was definitely a full-on race. Definitely there, Bruce. I appreciate you coming and jumping in the comment box and doing the controls there. It was well done, mate. And even with the technical issues that we had, we've ironed them all out. Yeah, it's future going on from now. It would be great.
Yeah, that was a good race. The guys up front really drove really well. The back markers gave room, so it didn't cause any issues for them. So it was good to see them. Good to see a good race, and yeah, thank you very much for having us in the commentary box, and yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, not a problem, man. You're more than welcome anytime, but I think you've got your handful trying to do that. So, yeah, no worries, and we'll end this one and say thanks to everyone for tuning in, and even through all the issues that we had. And don't forget, next week, tune in again. We're at Interlagos, I think, next week, and off again for 40 minutes. 45, sorry.
Yep, looking forward to that one. Thanks again, Steve, and we shall catch you all next week.
Cheers, bro. See you all later.